Hello everybody, I will start my today's another coding practice. So in this video, I will solve this my calendar number 2 question again. So in my previous video, I worked on this question and I introduced the approach I can use, which is using the sorted set, and I also used the line sweep. So basically the solution was good, but with some small techniques the implementation would be much easier and more elegant and much more beautiful. So I'd like to introduce such techniques in this video. So let me get started. So this question, my calendar 2 question is, I mean, I'm given the task to implement the calendar program. And in the calendar system, the user will input their booking events, right? With start time and end time. So I will be given like start time is 1, end time is 3. So the first booking should be time 1 to 3. Then the next should be 2 to 4. Then third should be 5 to 6. Like that. So I will be given the event in a streaming manner. And yep, I'm given the event, and basically I register each event to the system. However, if I register the booking into the system, and if it occurs the triple booking, that booking should be rejected. So I don't register it into the calendar app, and I will return false in the book method. However, if the new booking doesn't cause the triple booking, that is registered and book method should return true. So that's what I will be implementing in this question. And in my last video, I introduced the solution, which uses the sorted set and hash map. So basically, I kept track of okay, so if I'm given the time booking like this, 10 and 20, I will think of this as, so if I focus on the number of event at a specific timestamp, then I can say at timestamp 10, the number of bookings should be incremented by 1. And at time 20, the number of bookings should be decremented by 1. So in timestamp 0, there's no booking, so it should be 0. But at timestamp 10, it should be incremented and it will be 1. But at timestamp 20, it will be decremented by 1 and it becomes 0. So in that way, I will keep track of the timestamp and diff of the booking count. And with those diff list, I can restore the number of bookings at each timestamp. Yeah, so that's it. And I'd like to keep this, diff count list as sorted list. Otherwise, I have to sort it every time book method is called and then sweep it from the, earlier timestamp to the latest, timestamp. So yeah, to avoid that, I will use the sorted set. So with sorted set, the elements are stored in a sorted manner. And yeah, the push operation would take only O of n, or O of log n time. So that's the sorted set. So I will use this I used this in my previous solution. Yep. Then every time book method is called, in line 70, I swept each diff count item and, restores the booking event count, and then I checked if I mean the booking count is 2 in the given start time to end time window. And if at some point timestamp in sorry at some timestamp between start time and end time, if it is 2, then adding a new event, booking, will cause the triple booking. So I return false and I don't register it. Otherwise, I will register it. So I I insert new div count event to the sorted set. Then I return true. So this was my previous approach. And I will tell you which point I can improve. So the first thing is that it's a bit trivial thing, but in my previous solution, I used sorted set and also hash map. So sorted set should have the timestamp, and hash map had timestamp to div count mapping. But I actually don't have to use two data structures here. I just use the sorted set of timestamp to div count. Yep. So this one data structure is enough. So I will use it in this video's implementation. Yep. This is a quite trivial thing. And one more technique I will introduce is actually great. So in line 71, yep. My previous implementation, the kind of complication in my previous approach was that I have to take care if start time to end time window has two, double bookings. Yeah. But if I use the technique, like firstly, I register the booking to the system, and I run sweep the diff count and find out if any of the timestamp there is a triple booking or not. And if there is a triple booking, I roll back the registered event and return false. Otherwise, I will just keep the registered event as it is. So that's the approach I introduced in this video. Okay. Okay, so that being said, let me start the implementation. Oh, by the way, the time complexity and space complexity doesn't change because, I mean, essentially, I still use the sorted set. So each variation to insert into the sorted set takes only all of log n time, but in line sweep, it will take all of n time in each book method. So each book method takes all of n time. And for space complexity, sorted set, this should take all of n space. Yep. So it's still the same. Okay. So okay, as I said, I will use only one data structure, which is the sorted set of timestamp and diff count tuple. So I would call it diffs. it should be timestamp and diff count. Yep. So I actually have to initiate and read this in my, you know, first method. And sorry, constructor. And also the triple breaking is, yeah, I mean, 3, which signifies triple breaking. I will make it a class variable, like the constant. So I will call define the max bookings count. Yep. Or I should say max parallel bookings count. Okay. Then now I will implement the book method. So when I get start time and end time, I will register this into the sorted set. Yep. By the way, in this question, the event is begins at start time inclusively and ends at the end time exclusively. So I can say from end time, exactly end time, the booking count is decremented by 1. So I append it. And now this diff, sorted set is still, already sorted. So I will traverse it. So I traverse it and time is now sorted. Yep. So, hourly time appears first and then time is, increasing. So let me just, so I initiate the current booking count with 0, and every time I reach the timestamp, this should be updated with this diff. Okay, then now current booking count is updated. So my concern is if it exceeds the max parallel booking count or not. So if it exceeds, then I have to roll back. So I would say in line 30, I initiate the isValid variable here. So yeah, let me do it in this way. So sorry, I changed my mind. So in line 14, after updating the current booking count, I will check if it exceeds the max parallel booking count. Then if it exceeds, I will return false after rolling it back. But otherwise, I will keep going, and then finally I will return true. Yeah. So let me implement it. Okay, so in this way, I remove this, roll back these two diff element I've just added in line 8 and 9. Then I will return false. And if I keep going, and if I finish the iteration, which means that no triple booking, so I can return true. Okay, let me quickly check. Max prior bookings count should be 2, which is constant. And in line 4 in the constructor, I initiate the sorted set. And in the book method, I insert the diffs event into the diff sorted set. Then I line sweep the sorted set. So I start with current bookings count 0, but every time I find the diff, current booking count is updated. And if it exceeds the max parallel bookings count, then it means that triple booking is found. So I roll it back and then I return false. And if I don't find any triple booking, in the end, I will return true. Good. One thing I can implement for readability is here, I would say, I will make this a variable. Then I will do this. In this way, I think intention for this comparison is much more understandable. Okay, I will run my code. Oh no. It seems like this should be false, but now it is true. So I accept the case when triple booking occurs. Yeah. So let me see. So basically, this returns true all the time. So let me take a look at serve the diffs every time the method is called. Yep, seems to be correct. And after 3 book calls, it like this. Wait, why is there only 5 elements? Oh, I see. So one thing I forgot is, so this is a set. So if the same timestamp, you know, diff event of the same timestamp is added, then the duplicate one should be counted only once because this is a set. So one to fix this problem bug, I will use the sorted list. So in this way, the same timestamp and diff tuple can be stored. So it works fine. I will submit my code. Oh, I have to remove the print statement and submit again. Yeah, now it's accepted. So one case I'd like to talk about is Now the diff, I mean, event count diff event is sorted. And there is one thing which is quite fortunate to us. So every time in the same timestamp, the minus, I mean, reduction of the event count comes before, I mean, increasing of the event count. And so this means that, say, in the T is 10, think that there are 3 meetings which finishes at this time, and there are 5 meetings which start at this time. And originally, current booking count is 0. So in this case, at T is 10, timestamp 10, this should be -1, -2, -3, and then -2, -1, 0, 1. Maybe I can add one more, 2. So in the end, this should be 2. So one thing I wanted to avoid is if this 2 plus event comes before the minus event, then what happens is current booking count will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, 3, 2. And if in that case, here in line 7, when the count becomes 3, I return false and roll back the event. Because I assume that the system thinks that this is a invalid booking registration. But fortunately, the negative comes first. -1 comes first. So, yep. Because I have to take care only of the max parallel count. This, I mean, same timestamp element doesn't cause the, I mean, false invalid alert. Okay, so that's part of this day. So let me quickly wrap up today's, this video, and let me finish. So this is the second video of my calendar 2, and this is a follow-up video of my previous video. And in my previous video, I used the solution of sorted set and line sweep in each book method. And in this video, I introduced the technique, which is register them. Every time the book method is called, I temporarily register the start time and time booking event window. Then I check if there is a triple booking, and if there is, I roll it back and I return false. Otherwise, I will return true and keep the new booking. So with this small technique, the implementation has become much easier and beautiful. Yep. So let me finish my today's video with this. Thank you so much. Bye.